All right, let's talk about Pokemon. Now, you might just think of it as, a cute cartoon from your childhood or maybe some trading cards, but what if I told you it's become something way, way bigger? We are talking about the highest grossing media franchise in all of human history.
I mean, just look at that number for a second. Over $100 billion. To give you some perspective, that's more than Star Wars and Harry Potter combined. It's an absolute monster, an economic titan, and it all started with a pixelated little adventure on a tiny handheld screen.
But here's the thing. The real story, the interesting part, isn't really about the money. No, it's about something way more profound. We're going to dig into how this simple game evolved into a genuine lifeline for millions of people. And believe it or not, it all started with a feeling. To really get it, we've got to go back, right back to the beginning. It all started with that feeling of pure magic, right? Of holding an entire world, a whole adventure, right there in the palm of your hand. This right here, this just captures that spark perfectly. For so many of us, it was an instant, unbreakable connection. The content creator JRose11 here, he remembers getting the game for his birthday. And the home video of it just shows him completely zoned in, totally absorbed. That's a kind of magic you just don't forget. And that magic? Oh, it spread like wildfire. It launched in Japan in '96, hit the US just 2 years later, then the UK. But the coolest part is, it didn't stop there. Decades later, in 2016, Pokémon GO completely reinvented the game, getting over 1 billion people to actually go outside and explore the real world. And this created something bigger than anyone could have ever predicted, a real global community.
And that global community became something really, really important. See, in a world that can feel more and more isolated, Pokémon somehow became this incredible tool for forging actual face-to-face connections.
This quote from Ariana, she's the president of a university Pokemon society, it just perfectly captures the problem. After lockdown, so many people were struggling. They felt totally secluded, and just the simple act of being social felt, well, almost impossible. So where was the solution? It wasn't online, it wasn't on some app, it was in real, physical places. Local game stores became these new kinds of community centers, places where people could meet up and kind of rebuild those social muscles, one card trade at a time.
And the impact was huge. For Ariana and her friends, getting an invite to a local store wasn't just about playing a game. No, it was a reason to get outside again, to see people, and to just remember how to connect. It was, quite literally, a lifeline. So, how in the world does a franchise stay this popular for over 30 years? Well, the secret is this brilliant strategy that creates a kind of multi-generational magic, keeping everyone from young kids to their parents totally invested in the very same world. And the heart of that strategy is a really simple but powerful idea. There is no single right way to be a Pokémon fan. They've built this massive ecosystem that has something for basically any interest you can think of. I mean, just think about it for a sec. You can be a collector just trying to finish your Pokédex, a shiny hunter spending hundreds of hours looking for one super rare creature, a serious competitor in the card or video games, a Pokémon GO explorer, or hey, maybe you just love the anime. There's a door into this world for absolutely everyone.
And as competitive player Drew points out here, the world is never, ever static. By always adding new creatures, new regions, new stories, the universe constantly feels fresh. And that doesn't just keep old players around, it's always pulling new people in. But for the most dedicated fans, this goes so far beyond a hobby. For them, Pokémon becomes a truly life-defining force. It actually shapes careers, identities, and friendships in a way that almost no other franchise can. This is just incredible. For JRose11, the same kid who was probably told he'd never get a job with his head stuck in a Game Boy, well, Pokémon is his job now. That childhood passion completely transformed into a full-time career making content. And then there's the impact on who you become. Drew actually credits the game and its community with fundamentally shaping who he is as a person. So it's not just about playing a game, it's a journey that builds your character. And in the end, it all comes back to connection. Ariana, who once felt so alone, now has this amazing community, people she calls her best friends. Friendships that were built entirely through a shared love for this crazy universe. So after all of that, what is the ultimate goal here? What's the grand prize at the end of this incredible 30-year journey?
Well, the franchise's famous slogan has always been "Gotta catch 'em all," but after hearing all of this, it's pretty clear the real goal was never just about collecting a bunch of digital monsters.
The real challenge, the true, lasting legacy of Pokemon, was to connect people, to connect different generations, to connect friends, and to connect communities all over the world. That's the real secret to the $100 billion empire.
So I guess I'll just leave you with this question. Has a franchise ever totally changed your life or helped you find your people, your community? We would absolutely love to hear your story, so let us know down in the comments.